In time of peace as well as war, the United States government is vitally concerned with maintaining the balance of power. When, for any reason, circumstances arise to threaten this balance, the intelligence agent goes methodically to work. Word reached America from official sources in Vienna that across the border in satellite Czechoslovakia, a factory was engaged in turning out war-essential ball bearings. It was imperative that intelligence learn how it was being done. Agent Ken Thurston, codename X, was dispatched to investigate.
The Man Called X, starring Barry Sullivan. These are the stories of America's intelligence agents, our country's first line of defense. These stories are based on material from the files of one of America's foremost intelligence experts.
Because the success or failure of an assignment may depend upon its contacts, an intelligence agent carefully screens the people with whom he is to work. Has Major Harper given you any inkling as to the nature of this mission?
Only that there is some element of danger involved.
And you don't mind the personal risk?
In the concentration camp, a certain Nazi surgeon has given his professional opinion that I would be dead in 6 months. A week later, the surgeon was dead of brain hemorrhage, and here am I. You cannot break a cheap watch.
All right, briefly, here's the situation. You familiar with the Syroc plant?
At Drotsky? Yes, it is about 30 kilos from where I live.
You know what they manufacture?
Machine parts.
Ball bearings. Highest priority, war-essential ball bearings.
I see. Which makes it an objectionable installation.
Most objectionable. The plant was established by the Nazis during the war. Equipped with German-made machinery, it's the only factory behind the Iron Curtain producing bearings of this specific type.
At first, our office wasn't too concerned, assuming that the machines would eventually break down. And since neither the necessary skill for maintenance nor spare parts were available, Syroc would sooner or later shut down operations and cease production altogether.
I see, but this has not happened.
Exactly. Our informant in the Czech underground sends us word that not only is the plant still operating, there's no sign of its imminent collapse.
And you gentlemen wish to ascertain how it is possible, under the known circumstances, for the plant to continue to function with such efficiency.
You called it.
Very well. What am I to do?
We want you to carry verbal instructions to Andrei Svoboda, our underground contact in Drotsky. We want him to obtain microfilm photographs of the Syroc plant. The installations, machines, dies, templates, matrices, everything. As many as possible.
But this is easily done. All you have to do is give me this Svoboda's address. The rest is simple. Where is the peril for me in such an errand?
That's only part of what we want you to do. When you've heard the rest, you might not be so agreeable. It'll be necessary for you to smuggle a camera and a load of microfilm across the border to Svoboda. I don't have to tell you what would happen if the Czech authorities found them in your possession.
In my country, I've seen men arrested and imprisoned for listening to the radio. A bad leg does not disqualify me from risks.
I think we've worked out something which might reduce the risk potential to a minimum. It's functional, keeps perfect time, strikes on the hour, cuckoo pops out, does everything a clock should do. Only unusual thing about it is it contains a number of extra parts which have nothing at all to do with its operation. Remove these parts, assemble them carefully, and you'll have a microfilm camera. The spools of film are contained in these counterweights.
But where is the lens?
It's right here, in plain view.
Will Svoboda know how to assemble this?
Instructions for assembling it are contained in paragraph 3 of the diagram for building this toy jet. You're 2 days late. We were getting word.
I stalled as long as I could. Finally, I ran out of pretext for delaying my departure. I knew if I put it off any longer, someone might get suspicious.
I don't understand. You made contact with Svoboda, didn't you?
No, I tried. His family explained it is often so. He goes into the hills for strategy meetings for the underground. All the same, they're worried. It's not like him to go without leaving word of any kind.
What did you do with the camera?
The cuckoo is safe. I did exactly what I told the customs. Gave it to my housekeeper.
Svoboda is one of our most trusted, loyal agents. We can't just sit back and speculate on what's happened to him. We've got to know for a number of obvious reasons.
If anything's happened, word will reach us eventually via the regular underground channel.
That could take weeks. We can't afford to wait. Every day that passes is another day of operation for the Syroc plant, another day of producing ball bearings.
I know, that's true, but
That camera's already inside Czechoslovakia. All that's needed is a man to assemble and operate it.
You mean?
It's all arranged. T-Boats is returning to Czechoslovakia tomorrow. I've had credentials prepared identifying me as Ludwig Varmish, representative of Holst & Sons, a Viennese jewelry manufacturer. I'll accompany T-Boats to Brno, ostensibly for the purpose of conducting some business with his firm.
Well, just make sure you don't end up by negotiating with a firing squad.
Pretty, isn't it?
How did he die?
How else but by violence? Not the abrupt and hurried violence of death in battle, but the slow, deliberate, carefully executed violence of the experts in organized butchery.
When did it happen?
And where it is to guess. But what matter? An hour one way or the other makes him no less dead. He was delivered as he is, already laid out in that cheap pine box.
They delivered him like that to his family?
The widow, not knowing yet, you understand that she is a widow, answers the door. She is asked to sign a receipt for this package. Can you imagine?
Horrible. Horrible.
She cannot stand. Svoboda's widow. The shock, you see. Her legs will not hold her up. So she sits, memorizing the pattern on the wallpaper. But I can stand. And others like me. We must stand. Once they have us sitting down, we are finished. They hold no monopoly on violence. We can, since we must. Take a leaf from their notebook.
You will have your pictures. But somehow I don't know how I will manage it. But I will get you into the Sirak plant so that you may take your photographs. She's only a child, that girl. Rash and hot-blooded. But she's a Czech. She should be learning to cook and sew. Instead, she studies the mechanism of a carbine. A man cannot do enough. It is a vow. I will get you into that plant. I'm not sure the sun will rise tomorrow, but I believe in it. I have this key from a friend of mine. For a price, he will procure anything.
No need exposing us both to risk. I can handle this part of it alone. You stay here, keep a sharp lookout.
But what if something should happen?
Then we'll have lost one agent, not two. his personal concern for the fate of those with whom he works, an intelligence agent's first responsibility is to his assignment.
A smile is permitted. I am no ghost.
The velvet glove and the chainmail fist, eh?
Oh, they paraded their wares before me. I have seen them all. They were invented in the workshops of the Nazis. 18 hours they questioned me. No sleep. Who needs sleep? In the end, it was they who were yawning.
Yeah, they just released you.
I explained. Some friends took me to a party in a strange part of town. When I left, I lost my way. I became tired, the leg, you know, and had to rest. There was an open door. I went in, and next thing I woke up inside a factory.
They swallowed that.
My friend, I stuck so persistently to my tale. By the time morning came, I was convinced of it myself.
Well, for what you did, thanks. It was a brave thing.
It was foolhardy. Bravery is a contrivance of the fiction writers.
Yeah. There can't be any doubt.
A man knows his own child. No, there is no doubt. These were manufactured in my shops.
Herr von Schulheitz, is it possible they could have created a stockpile of spare parts during the war years?
Enough to last them until now? Nine. It is most unlikely. You saw for yourselves in the films this trademark. It is new, this trademark. Changed when I bring in my partner, Kessel. For 2 years we have been using it, this trademark.
Well, this clears up the question of how Xerox managed to stay in production. Their machines haven't broken down or worn out for the simple reason that they've apparently had enough spare parts to keep them operating.
From my factory? From here in Vienna? Without my knowledge or sanction? I should help the communists? I, a Christian Democrat?
What interests me is how they remove the parts from your factory, transport them to the Czech frontier, and then smuggle them past the border customs.
Gentlemen, I hope you don't think that I'm involved in any way. I can assure you that
Von Schultheis, you've been certified by both the military and civilian loyalty boards. Your sympathies are beyond challenge.
Thank you, thank you.
But that doesn't extend a blanket character bond to your every employee. Obviously, the fact that Xerox machines are still functioning with parts manufactured by you points to the existence of at least one subversive on your payroll.
I would welcome an investigation. In fact, I entreat it.
How's it coming? Well, the picture's pretty obvious. We can keep going through the record, but I doubt if we'll turn up anything to break the pattern.
I couldn't help it, could I? Can I ask all my customers they should furnish character references?
Of course not. Order seemed legitimate. No reason for your suspicions to be aroused. All local placements within the zone. The parts weren't restricted except for export. You had no way of knowing they were dummy films.
I could small orders. I couldn't vouch them all. Courtesy orders, we call them. There is no profit.
You're in business to sell parts. We understand.
Schweitzer Corporation, Gloss Sons, Weiss & Weiss, Hoff Ironworks, Vlesco, and so on. Each of them, according to our check, non-existent. And each one placed one order with you.
Each one of them paid cash in advance, I suppose.
Cash, yeah. The orders would come in by mail. The customer would come and pick them up here at the plant. But still, all of them such small orders. A few parts here, a few parts there. What good would it be to such a big factory like Xerox?
A small trickle, Herr von Schultheis. If it's steady enough, we'll eventually fill a bathtub.
And it's been steady. November the 12th, November the 21st, November the 30th, December the 8th, December the 17th.
That's very interesting.
What?
The even spacing of the placement of the orders. They could have placed a whole batch at once. The films are fictitious anyway, yet they placed them 8-9 days apart. Why? Who's in charge of handling such orders? I'd like to talk to him.
Max Berghoff. I will get him for you. Have Max Berghoff come to my office right away. He what? When was this? I see. I don't understand it. He was with us 5 years. Never missed one day's work. His name was in for promotion for shipping supervisor.
Who?
Max Berghoff. The man you wish to talk to quit this morning.
Thanks. Max Berghoff passed through customs into Czechoslovakia 40 minutes ago. He was granted an emergency visa. Claimed he was going to visit a dying sister.
Somebody tipped him off.
Somebody who knew we were going to check the von Schultheiss records. But who?
Doesn't make sense. Wait a minute. I'm willing to bet that in our preoccupation with Berghoff's escape, we're supposed to assume that with him out of the way, this smuggling business would come to a stop.
Keep talking. You're beginning to fascinate me.
Okay, a question. Something that's been bothering me all day. What is the significance of the intervals between the bogus orders?
Well, he probably didn't want to run the risk of accumulating a surplus in some Vienna warehouse. Maybe their method of export could only accommodate a few parts at a time.
Yes, but doesn't the spacing suggest something else? Regularity, as regular as a timetable schedule. Hypothesis. A man travels back and forth between Vienna and Czechoslovakia on business once every week. He carries a small suitcase, presumably filled with samples.
Lots of men do that, hundreds.
But how many are intimately acquainted with U.S. Army intelligence, have their implicit trust, operate free from surveillance, beyond suspicion?
Not many, I'll admit. Bela T-Bortz, that's who you're talking about.
I know, it's kind of hard to believe, isn't it? But check it out. T-Bortz is sent into Droshky to make contract with Svoboda. Svoboda gets killed. Then he very neatly sneaks me into the Siroc plant. 10 minutes later, 2 armed guards show up.
He sacrificed his own safety for you. Don't forget, he was interrogated and arrested by the STB. They roughed him up.
Did they? How badly? George, suppose you found a man in one of our defense plants in the middle of the night. A man who had no business being there. And the only explanation he had to offer was that he got lost and wanted a rest. Would you pat him on the back, send him on his way the next day?
But you obtained the microfilms. You escaped the country. We found out about the spare parts operation.
All of which makes T-Bortz aces high with us, I suppose. Look, George, T-Bortz knew that we were interested in the Siroc situation. He also knew that with or without his help, we'd find out about the spare parts anyway. More important than stalling us was ensuring his status in our eyes.
But he supplied us with information. Authentic, vital information against the enemy. What about that? No matter how important those spare parts might be, the Czech government is never going to sanction T-Bortz volunteering top-secret data in exchange for winning our confidence.
Yes, that would be true if T-Bortz was a Czech agent. But what if he's simply a mercenary with no political affiliations, nationalistic loyalties? What if he's simply part of a ring merchandising spare parts to Siroc in return for a very healthy fee?
You build a strong case.
I'll make it even stronger. Who tipped off Berghoff? Only 4 people knew in advance of our intent to investigate his plant. You, myself, von Schultheiss, T-Bortz. Can you recall the approximate date when T-Bortz started working for you?
Let's see. Yes, it was January 1954.
And as far as we can make out, the supply of spare parts commenced flowing into Czechoslovakia in February 1954.
Maybe we'd better have a talk with Mr. T-Bortz when he comes back.
When he comes back? You mean he's in here?
He returned to Brno this morning, left in the 10 o'clock train.
Passau's the last town before the border. Any idea what time the train reaches Passau?
About 7, I think. Between 7 and 8. It's a limited.
And you get me a plane.
You going after him?
I'm going to give it a good old college try at any rate.
It's after 6 now. Of course, there's a 10-minute layover in Passau, but even with a strong wind at your back, you're going to have to slice it pretty thin.
And don't worry, I've had plenty of conditioning. When I was a boy, I used to work summers at a delicatessen lunch counter. Oh, and something else. I want to take a man with me. Someone that T-Bortz has never seen before.
Paul Case just got transferred here from Berlin. You can take him.
Fine.
Get me Paul Case.
Hello?
Well, it seems you are always meeting in train stations.
Yeah, so it seems. I take it you're on your way to Bruno.
Yes, I just got off to stretch my legs for a few moments. Figure of speech, of course. What I wouldn't give to be able to stretch this leg of mine. What brings you to Passau?
Some people should watch where they're walking. Oh, you were asking what brings me to Paso. Well, it's that Ciroc business again. They're still getting those spare parts through somehow. I'm here to help establish a supplementary inspection station, double-check everything that goes through customs.
But is that really necessary now?
Necessary? I don't understand you. We have to do everything we can to stop the flow of spare parts.
But that was before. I mean, now that Berghoff's flown, I should imagine the entire smuggling operation would automatically cease.
How did you know about Berghoff?
Well,
We can hold that question in abeyance. This will be answer enough for now. The key, please. Well, the training on your side of the curtain puts the accent on violence. Our own liberal arts curriculum offers a more refined course. Pickpocketing.
Leopold Oshenko, 1942, Yaroslav Plaza, Brno, Czechoslovakia. Who is this Oshenko?
he's an acquaintance of mine. He's a dealer in ceramics.
And machine parts on the side?
Do you really think that by holding Leopold and me, you could put a stop to this traffic in spare parts? Even if we were involved in the smuggling, and mind you, I make no admissions. But assuming I am concerned with the affair, what then? Despite all your efforts, the supply of spare parts will continue to Ciroc.
He's right, you know.
Of course I'm right. How could you stop it? You are helpless.
How can we stop it? Come on along with me. I'll show you how we can stop it. Is it possible to replace these with identically matching defective parts?
It is possible, yeah. The parts rejected by our inspector are stored in a scrap bin. But what do you want with that? They are good for nothing.
On the contrary, Herr von Schultheis, these faulty parts are perfect for our purpose. Tell me, a defective part like this one, for instance, if placed in a machine, how long would it stand up?
Well, that is difficult to say. Under normal operating conditions, maybe a week. At the outside, a month.
Then they're bound to break down sooner or later.
If it has the slightest imperfection, such a part could not endure the continuous stress and friction. It would disintegrate, fly into fragments.
And the machine employing such a defective part, what would happen to it?
What would not happen? It would be ruined, utterly ruined. In a matter of seconds, the gears would be chewed to pieces. That is why we must, each part we manufacture, inspect so carefully. Otherwise, by our negligence, we would be sued for destroying expensive equipment.
I guarantee these customers won't sue you. We'll check Tibort's bag at the Paso station and send the stub to Leopold Oshenko, just as he would have done.
He'll assume they're from Tibort's and never dreaming they're defective.
Check.
You think we can get away with it?
No reason why not. We'll keep this business up as long as we have to, sending regular weekly shipments, right on schedule, following the exact pattern set up by Mr. Tibort's here.
And me? What is to become of me?
I'm afraid we'll have to hold on to you for a little while, Mr. Tibort's. Just long enough to be sure that our plan has succeeded. After that, of course, we'll have no further use for you.
But you wouldn't send me back to Czechoslovakia. You wouldn't do that.
There's nothing else we can do. That's where you live.
But you cannot send me back, don't you understand? They will blame me. They will hold me and Oshenko and the others responsible for selling the bad parts.
You've been bragging about what a clever man you are. Talk to them, explain to them. It should be easy for a clever man like you to convince them of your innocence.
Talk to them. Talk to them. You think they would listen? They have no ears. A man could better entreat mercy from a set of stones. But you are not like them. You are merciful people. You couldn't do that. You couldn't send a man to his death. You are not cold-blooded murderers.
I tell you what. You're in the market for mercy, you say. Talk to Andrei Svoboda's widow. See if she's willing to carry you on the books.
Ciroc plant shuts down, indefinitely suspends operations. 6 weeks, quicker results than we'd hoped for.
Well, they were very defective parts.
I wonder what happened to Bela Tibortz and his playmates.
And the workings of justice on their side of the street are a pretty staple commodity.
Well, you did very well on this one, Ken. I hope you can do as well on the next.
Thanks, sir. The great American journalist William Lloyd Garrison once wrote, "I will be as harsh as truth and as uncompromising as justice. I will not retreat a single inch, and I will be heard." The men of the intelligence service serve the cause of truth and justice in all parts of the world. See you next week.